Well, we're looking forward to seeing you and the Australian Bee Gees here at the Parker Playhouse tomorrow night. And I have to say, I've never seen you guys perform before, but very excited as I'm a big fan of the Bee Gees.
They seem to span a big area of the US. There's a lot of fans here. It's great. It's good to see.
Well, interesting little story. My father was a key grip back in the 70s with Paramount Pictures, and he actually worked on the movie Saturday Night Fever. He's actually
Wow.
one of four people that actually built the dance floor that lights up in the movie.
Oh wow, is that right?
Yeah,
We're actually looking at it. We're looking at it. He might be someone we need to speak to because we're looking at installing one in our showroom in Excalibur in Las Vegas.
It'd be nice to have one in the tour bus as well, I think, too.
It certainly would. Might be a little cumbersome.
Now, I wanted to ask you, how did the Australian Bee Gees show originally come about, and how has it evolved since the beginning till now?
We started back in Australia back in 1996, so over 20 years ago now. And we would, the five of us, the original Australian members, we were working in various cover bands and original bands, and there was a lot of other tribute acts, to ABBA, tributes to the Beatles and Pink Floyd and bands like that, and we noticed that there was nobody paying homage to the Bee Gees, and having such a prolific catalogue of music, we just thought that was odd. After putting some work into the idea, realised quickly why, because it's so difficult to sing those harmonies and the falsetto parts. And we started working on it, not sort of expecting too much, and just realised that we did have those voices that were quite similar, and the instruments we played kind of matched up to who looked like who, and it evolved from there. We had our first engagement at the Hong Kong Hotel in Kowloon in Hong Kong, and we spent a 2-week period playing there every night and completely packed the place out and realised that we had something here, and just had full houses everywhere. We basically toured around Australia and Asia, and then so over that 20 years we toured over about 15 years we toured all over the world, and we got the offer during a run through the States to do the sit-down residency in Las Vegas, and so now we moved our families over here, and now we're resident in Las Vegas, and that gives us more opportunity to access a bigger audience from here in the States, and the show is just constantly evolved, and we're keeping sometimes we do it from a modern perspective, sometimes we go back to the 70s and change our look. We keep the show fresh, and I think that's kind of why we've had such staying power and been going for so long.
Now, in that 20 years since you guys started, some other Bee Gees tribute acts have popped up, but you guys have been reviewed as the top Bee Gees tribute artists in the world. What do you think that makes your performance stand out from the others?
We've had comments from, in fact, the Bee Gees themselves, was a few years ago now, but that they like the fact that we do it from a modern perspective, and that it's a tribute in the true sense of the word, in that we're paying homage to them and paying respect to them. There's a lot of other Bee Gees shows that have popped up around the world that don the white suits and put on the medallions and put with hairy chests, and it's kind of more of it's more tongue-in-cheek. It's a little bit of a humorous take, if you like.
Yeah.
And they only focus on the disco era of the 70s, and the Bee Gees like the fact that we recognise the 5 decades of amazing music that they've reinvented themselves in each decade, and a lot of people don't realise that they were very famous and very big long before the disco era, long before the 70s, throughout Europe and England and Australia. So we pay them respect, and we do it tastefully. I think is why we've been able to manage to keep this going so long.
Now, your role in the band, you pretty much play the role of Morris Gibb, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Now, as a musician, are you self-taught?
I am. I play most instruments. I'm also an arranger and composer. So I do all the scoring for when we play. Sometimes we play with orchestras. We played with the Boston Pops last year and did a concert down in Nantucket Island with a 60-piece orchestra, and we had to do all the orchestrating for that, which is fantastic. But primarily, we're still a 5-piece band when we're on tour on the road. But yeah, I enjoy playing Morris because he's kind of he's the oddball. He's a funny character. You know, he's fun to play.
Now, your voice is also your instrument. What do you do, if anything, to maintain your vocals while you're on tour?
Just drink a lot of water. Try not to drink too much alcohol. Honey and lemon, lots and lots of honey and lemon to keep the vocal cords lubricated. It's just a case of plenty of rest and not party too hard. It's kind of tough to keep the vocal cords in good health when you're traveling and on the road, especially when we work in Las Vegas because it's such a dry heat. I'm really enjoying Florida at the moment because it's so humid, and it actually is really beneficial to singing, especially singing falsetto.
Yes. Now, you guys have entertained fans all over the world. Tell us about the fan experience at a show.
It's incredible. No matter where we go, even throughout Asia, some countries we go to where they don't even speak English, and they just mouth the words to every song. And the reaction is just incredible. And there's some areas of the world where some songs were hits and others weren't. For instance, in Australia, the song "Sticks and Specks" was the Bee Gees' first hit in Australia, and so everyone in Australia recognises that song as the moment we start playing it. In America, we don't even put it in the set list because nobody knows the song.
Nobody knows it, exactly.
Yeah. So and likewise, a song called "You Win Again" from the '80s. No one knows that either. We brought that into the show on the last tour. Thought, this would be really impactful because it was a big hit. We remember it as a massive hit. Nobody knows it here.
Yeah, they're probably thinking maybe that it's an original of the band, you know?
Right, yeah. People come up to us and say, on the last tour, was like, what was that first song you played? I don't, who was that? And so we were really surprised about that. So it changes. We have to change the set around depending where we go.
Sure.
But there's all the typical candidates that has to be played, especially all the disco songs. But it's such a great experience just watching it's a privilege to get to watch the audience smile and sing back through the songs, and they always come to us after the show and say thank you for taking me back there, taking me back to a happier time and a better place, and that's rewarding itself. And
that reaction also lets you know that you're doing a very good job as well.
Absolutely, that feels good, and it's a privilege, as I say, to get to play this music, and we do our best to do it as respectfully as possible.
Now, when you're not performing as the Bee Gees, what kind of music do you listen to?
Everything. I'm a pretty big blues fan. I'm studying blues harmonica at the moment. I'm always trying to teach myself a new instrument to keep the brain going. Blues is big with me. Jazz, I listen to a lot of jazz, especially because we now live in Las Vegas. The caliber of musicians that we get to work with when we're there, and some of the acts that come through, they're so spoiled. They don't even realise how spoiled they are for the entertainment that comes through that place. I can go and see Joe Walsh is playing in the House of Blues at the moment, actually, and that would be a $200 ticket back home in Australia.
Sure.
You can pay $20 and go and see Joe Walsh on the neighbouring theatre. It's just fantastic.
Amazing. Now, as a 5-piece group, do you have any original material, or do you plan to release maybe an EP as a different group?
We all write, and we've all had releases of our own with other bands in our own right, but we like to keep the Bee Gees show a separate entity, and we don't really work together composing as this lineup for the sake of doing anything original. This is our bread and butter, and this is our income. If we wanted to do that, we'd go to put other projects together, if you like.
Wonderful. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy touring schedule to speak with us. We're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night. And if we can come back before and after and introduce ourselves, that would be great.
Please do. We'd love to see you and find out what you thought of the show afterwards. We do kind of a little meet and greet after the show in costume, but on top of that, we'd love you to come backstage and come and hang out and let us know your thoughts.
Fantastic. I look forward to it. Safe travels to you and the guys on the road. Good show
Thanks
tonight,
so much.
and we'll see you tomorrow evening.
Looking forward to it. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye, Wayne.